Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that can truly transform your life, something that can take you from where you are now to where you want to be. It's the concept of raising your standards. You see, your standards are the invisible boundaries you set for yourself, the level of performance, success, and quality you accept in your life. Most people live their lives based on the standards they've set, but here's the catch. Those standards are often not high enough to achieve greatness. If you want to achieve more, you must raise your standards. And I'm here to tell you how to do just that. The first thing you must realize is that your life is a reflection of your standards. Think about it. The food you eat, the relationships you have, the job you do, and even how you spend your free time, all of it is determined by your standards. If you want a better life, you must start by demanding more from yourself. You must demand more from your health, your relationships, your career, and your personal growth. But here's the truth. You won't raise your standards overnight. It takes time, effort, and commitment. The process requires discipline and accountability and the willingness to face challenges head on. However, every time you push yourself to rise above your old standards, you'll see remarkable change. You'll begin to build a life that others only dream about. Don't be vague about your goals. The first step in raising your standards is knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. Clarity is power. Stop accepting mediocrity. Don't just settle for what life hands you. Demand excellence, both from yourself and from others. Constantly improve yourself. Your standards should always be evolving. Commit to lifelong learning and growth. Become a student of your own life. Know what you will and won't accept. Establish boundaries in your personal and professional life to ensure that you never settle for less than what you deserve. The people you associate with influence your standards. Surround yourself with individuals who raise your level of thinking, performance, and attitude. When you raise your standards, you must take full responsibility for every result in your life. No blaming, no complaining. Own it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Commit to doing the work even when you don't feel like it. Raise your standard of consistency. Time is your most precious asset. Start managing it better by focusing on high-value activities that align with your elevated standards. Don't waste it on distractions. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. You need to embrace challenges because it's through overcoming difficulties that your standards truly rise. Don't wait for others to change. Don't wait for the world to give you what you want. Start by raising your own standards, and the world will follow suit. You see, everything starts with a decision. Most people drift through life without ever really deciding what they truly want. They go from day to day, reacting to what's happening around them, rather than actively shaping their own future. They're not really living on purpose, they're merely existing. But you must understand this. In order to raise your standards and transform your life, you need clarity. You need to get clear on exactly what you want. This is the starting point. You can't hit a target you don't have, and you can't build something if you don't know what it's supposed to look like. This is where so many people go wrong. They wish for things, they hope for things, but wishing and hoping won't get you anywhere. Deciding is what moves you forward. It's a moment of clarity, a moment where you draw a line in the sand and say, this is what I want, and I'm not settling for anything less. When you decide, you are telling the universe and yourself that you are serious about your future. Once you decide what you want, you create a vision. You see, a vision isn't just about dreaming. It's about making a clear commitment to that vision. It's about being so clear on your goals that they almost become a part of you. They become your driving force. Every action you take, every decision you make must align with that vision. Too many people settle for the vague idea of success without defining it for themselves. They look around, see what others are doing, and think, maybe I should want that. But the key is not to follow someone else's path, it's to carve your own. Success is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Your success, your version of happiness, your idea of fulfillment, it all starts when you decide clearly and definitively what it is that you truly want. When you make that decision, everything changes. You no longer wonder what's next. You no longer allow fear or uncertainty to hold you back. You take ownership of your desires, and from that moment forward, you are no longer living by default. You are living by design with a purpose and direction. So if you want to raise your standards and live an extraordinary life, begin by deciding what you really want. Don't leave it to chance. Get crystal clear on your goals and commit yourself to them with everything you've got. Only then can you begin to build the future you deserve. You see, the problem with most people is that they settle. They settle for less than what they are capable of achieving. They settle for less than they deserve, and they settle for less than what they could have if they only had the courage to demand more from themselves. It's easy to settle. It's comfortable. It feels safe. But the reality is, when you settle for less, you're robbing yourself of the potential you have inside. You're denying yourself the opportunity to experience life at its highest level. You have to understand that settling is a habit. It's not just something you do once in a while. It's something that can become ingrained in the way you think and act every single day. You settle in your career. You settle in your relationships. You settle in your health, your finances, and even in your personal growth. But here's the truth. The moment you decide that you're no longer willing to settle for less, that's when your life begins to change. It's time to raise the bar on what you accept for yourself. Stop telling yourself that good enough is good enough. Good enough isn't good enough. It's just a polite excuse for not going after the life you're truly capable of living. You've got to stop accepting mediocrity in any form. Mediocrity in your work, mediocrity in your health, mediocrity in your relationships. It all adds up to a life that falls far short of what it could be. And here's the key. It's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. It's about comparing who you are today to the person you are capable of becoming. It's about holding yourself accountable for the level of excellence you know you can achieve. It's about setting higher expectations for your life and refusing to settle until you meet them. The moment you stop settling for less, you begin to expect more. More from yourself, more from others, and more from life. You start demanding more because you believe you're worthy of more. You start showing up differently. You start taking bigger actions, making better decisions, and thinking at a higher level. When you stop settling, you stop limiting your own potential. But it's not easy. The world will try to pull you back into that comfortable place where settling seems like the best option. People around you might say, "Don't push yourself too hard," or "It's okay to take it easy." But remember, there's no growth in comfort. Growth happens when you step out of the easy and into the challenge. Growth happens when you stop accepting less and start demanding more. So if you want to raise your standards and create a life that's truly exceptional, start by making a commitment to never settle. Never settle for mediocrity. Never settle for anything less than what you are truly capable of. You are meant for greatness, but you have to stop settling for anything less than that greatness. The moment you do, you'll be amazed at the extraordinary life that starts to unfold before you. You see, growth isn't something that happens by accident. It's not something you can wait for. It's something you must commit to, intentionally and relentlessly. Too many people live their lives as if growth will somehow just show up, as if time alone will magically transform them into better versions of themselves. But it doesn't work that way. Growth requires your active participation, your focus, and your discipline. The truth is, life will either push you forward or pull you backward. And the only way to ensure you're moving forward is to make growth a priority. The moment you commit to growth, you take control of your future. You stop being a passive observer of your life and become the architect of your destiny. You understand that every day is an opportunity to improve, to learn, to expand your skills, and to get closer to the person you want to become. Growth requires you to embrace discomfort. It requires you to stretch beyond your current capabilities and push yourself to new limits. You will have to face challenges that test your resolve. You'll encounter obstacles that make you question your ability to continue. But here's the thing. It's through these very challenges that growth happens. You cannot grow without overcoming adversity. You cannot reach your potential without facing difficulties. It's in the struggle that you find your strength, and it's in the discomfort that you find your growth. You have to make a conscious decision every single day that you will not remain stagnant. You will not let time pass without improving, without getting better. Commit to reading, to learning, to listening to those who have walked the path you want to walk. Commit to getting better physically, mentally, and emotionally. Commit to investing in your mind, because your mind is the foundation for everything else you want to achieve. The moment you decide that growth is a lifelong commitment, you stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the right time or for circumstances to be perfect. You begin to realize that there's no such thing as the right time. The right time is now. It's in this moment. You make the decision to grow regardless of where you're starting from. Growth doesn't happen on its own, and it doesn't happen by wishing for it. You have to show up day after day, ready to invest the time, the energy, and the effort into your own development. It means taking action even when you don't feel like it, and continuing to take steps forward even when progress feels slow. But here's the beauty of it. When you commit to growth, everything begins to change. You attract opportunities that match your new level of thinking. You build relationships that support your elevated standards. Your confidence grows because you're becoming better, and you start to see the world in a completely new light. The commitment to growth isn't just about improving your skills, it's about improving who you are as a person. It's about becoming someone who is capable of achieving their highest potential no matter what obstacles come your way. When you make this commitment, you unlock your full potential. You stop settling for where you are and you start reaching for where you could be. So make a vow to yourself right now that you will commit to growth, not just for today, not just for this year, but for the rest of your life. Because the moment you do, you open up a world of possibilities and you start living a life that's not only successful, but truly fulfilling. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to set clear boundaries. You see, boundaries aren't just about saying no to other people. They're about saying yes to yourself. They're about protecting your time, your energy, and your focus so that you can live your life according to your own terms, not anyone else's. If you want to raise your standards and truly elevate your life, setting boundaries is non-negotiable. The reality is that many people fail to set boundaries because they're afraid of disappointing others or causing conflict. They're afraid of what people might think, or they worry about being labeled as selfish. But here's the truth. Not having boundaries is what's truly selfish. It's selfish because when you allow others to drain your time, your focus, and your energy, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to become the person you're capable of becoming. You're not giving yourself the time and space to grow, to work on your goals, and to live your life at the highest level. When you fail to set boundaries, you allow life to control you. You allow others' demands, distractions, and expectations to pull you in every direction. You become reactive rather than proactive. But when you set clear boundaries, you take control of your life. You create a structure that allows you to prioritize what truly matters. You say to yourself, this is what I will accept, and this is what I won't. Setting boundaries starts with knowing exactly what you want and what you're willing to tolerate. Without clarity on your values, your goals, and your vision, it's impossible to set effective boundaries. You must first understand what's important to you: your time, your health, your relationships, your personal growth. And then protect those things fiercely. This means saying no to the things that don't align with your goals, even if it means disappointing others. It means choosing to spend your time on activities that move you forward, rather than giving in to distractions that keep you stuck. Boundaries are not walls. They're simply guidelines for how you want to be treated and what you will or won't accept in your life. They allow you to create an environment that supports your success. When you set boundaries, you're teaching others how to treat you, and you're also teaching yourself how to respect your own needs. You begin to prioritize your own well-being and happiness rather than living for the approval or expectations of others. You might have to make some tough choices along the way. You might have to let go of relationships, activities, or habits that no longer serve you. It might be uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years allowing others to dictate your life. But every time you set a boundary, you send a message to yourself and the world that you value your time, your energy, and your future. You're saying, I am worthy of more, and I will protect the things that will help me grow. And let's not forget, setting boundaries is also about learning how to say yes to the right things. It's about knowing when to open the door to new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences that align with your elevated standards. But in order to do that, you first have to have the courage to say no to the things that drain you. It's about creating space for what truly matters. So if you want to raise your standards, start by setting clear boundaries. Protect your time, your energy, and your focus. Don't let life dictate how you spend your days. Take control and let your boundaries be the guide that keeps you on the path to becoming the person you're meant to be. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. The people you surround yourself with have a tremendous impact on who you become. If you want to raise your standards and take your life to the next level, you cannot afford to surround yourself with mediocrity. You need to surround yourself with excellence, with people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better every single day. Here's the truth. You're not just influenced by the people you spend time with, you become them. The attitudes, habits, and thinking of those around you rub off on you whether you realize it or not. If you spend time with people who are negative, complacent, and satisfied with the status quo, guess what? You're going to adopt those same attitudes. You'll find yourself making excuses, taking shortcuts, and settling for less than what you're truly capable of. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, ambitious, and striving for excellence, that energy will rub off on you. You'll begin to raise your own standards because you'll start to expect more from yourself. Excellence is contagious. When you're around people who constantly push the envelope, who are constantly growing and evolving, it becomes impossible to stay stagnant. You'll find yourself thinking bigger, acting bolder, and aiming higher. Excellence breeds excellence. The people you associate with become your model of what's possible. Their success becomes a reminder of what you can achieve when you make the commitment to do the work and elevate your standards. But surrounding yourself with excellence isn't just about what you get from others. It's also about what you give. When you choose to surround yourself with high-level individuals, you raise the level of your own contribution. You begin to show up at a higher standard because you understand that you're now part of a group that demands more. You can't afford to sit back and coast. You've got to bring your best, day in and day out. This doesn't mean you have to only be around people who are already at the level you aspire to reach. It means you should be around people who are driven and committed to growth no matter where they are in their journey. Surround yourself with individuals who are constantly learning, improving, and striving for more. People who have a mindset of abundance, who aren't afraid to share their knowledge and experience with others. These are the kinds of people who will inspire you to keep moving forward no matter what challenges you face. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut everyone out of your life who isn't at your desired level of excellence. That's not the point. But you do need to be intentional about the relationships you nurture and the time you invest in people who elevate you. If you're serious about raising your standards, then choose to spend your most valuable time with those who make you think bigger, act better, and hold you accountable to your highest potential. The key here is intentionality. Don't let your relationships be random or happenstance. Be deliberate about the company you keep. Seek out those who will push you to grow, encourage you to strive for more, and challenge you to be your best self. When you surround yourself with excellence, you'll naturally begin to raise your own standards. You'll no longer tolerate mediocrity in your own life because you'll see firsthand what's possible when you reach for something greater. So take a close look at the people in your circle. Ask yourself, are these the kinds of people who will push me to elevate my standards? Are these people supporting my growth, my ambitions, and my vision for the future? If not, it's time to make some changes. Surround yourself with those who are chasing excellence and watch how it transforms your own life. Excellence is a choice, and when you surround yourself with it, you'll begin to embody it yourself. One of the most powerful decisions you can make in life is to take full responsibility for everything that happens to you. You see, most people tend to blame others for their circumstances, their failures, or the things that go wrong in their lives. They look for excuses, pointing fingers at their parents, their upbringing, the economy, their boss, or the world in general. But here's the reality. If you want to raise your standards and transform your life, you must stop making excuses and start taking full ownership of your situation. Taking responsibility isn't always easy. It means accepting that you are the cause of the results in your life, both good and bad. It means acknowledging that your choices, your actions, and even your inactions have led you to where you are today. But here's the thing. This is where your power lies. When you take full responsibility, you realize that if you are the cause of your results, then you are also the solution to your problems. You no longer feel helpless or powerless because you know that you have the ability to change your circumstances. This doesn't mean that you should blame yourself for everything that happens in life. Life happens. Things don't always go as planned. But when you take full responsibility, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of life's circumstances. Instead, you start seeing yourself as the creator of your own reality. It means you stop complaining and start looking for solutions. You take proactive action instead of waiting for someone else to fix things for you. You stop waiting for the right time or the perfect moment. You make the decision to act, regardless of the challenges. Taking responsibility also means owning your mistakes. We all make them. It's part of the journey, but the key is to learn from them, not to hide from them or blame others. When you take responsibility for your mistakes, you allow yourself to grow. You become wiser, stronger, and more capable of handling the challenges that come your way in the future. Responsibility is not about being perfect. It's about being accountable, owning up to your actions, and continually learning and improving. You have to understand that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. If you want a better life, you have to step up and take ownership of your path. No one can raise your standards for you. No one can make the decisions you need to make to reach your full potential. Only you can do that. When you take full responsibility for your life, you're no longer waiting for a miracle or hoping for change. You are the change. You are the one who makes it happen. This doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. Asking for help is a part of taking responsibility. Seeking guidance, learning from others, and investing in yourself are all signs of taking responsibility. But you are still the one who must take the action. You are the one who must decide to move forward, regardless of the obstacles. You are the one who must choose to raise your standards. When you take full responsibility, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You become the driver. You stop waiting for things to happen to you, and you start making things happen. This shift in mindset is the key to unlocking your potential. You will never be able to reach your highest standards or create the life you truly want if you are constantly looking for someone else to blame. So ask yourself today, are you taking full responsibility for your life? Are you taking ownership of your choices, your actions, and your results? If not, it's time to make that change. Once you take full responsibility, you will see the world differently. You will stop seeing obstacles as barriers, and you will start seeing them as opportunities to grow. You will stop waiting for the perfect circumstances, and you will create the circumstances you need. Taking full responsibility is the key to raising your standards and taking control of your life. It is the moment you realize that you have the power to shape your destiny. And once you realize that, there's nothing you can't achieve. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It's the difference between what you want and what you actually get. Without discipline, even the best ideas, the biggest dreams, and the most powerful intentions fall apart. The world is filled with people who want success, but only a small fraction of them have the discipline to follow through. That's why so many dreams go unfulfilled, and so many people live their lives in frustration. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's a habit that you build over time. It's about making the right decisions day in and day out, even when it's difficult. It's doing what needs to be done, not because you feel like it, but because you know it's what will get you closer to the person you want to become. It's about consistency, focus, and commitment. Without discipline, your potential will remain untapped, and your dreams will stay out of reach. The first step in developing unshakable discipline is understanding that it's not about perfection, it's about commitment. You don't need to get everything right, but you need to show up every day and put in the work. Success isn't about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well every single day. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing through the resistance when everything inside of you is telling you to quit. Building discipline starts with your daily habits. Every single choice you make is either a step closer to your goals or a step away from them. It's not the big moments that make the difference. It's the little things, the small decisions you make every day, how you spend your time, what you eat, how much effort you put into your work, the way you treat others. These are all reflections of your level of discipline. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be consistent. Little by little, day by day, your habits will compound, and over time, you'll see extraordinary results. You also need to understand that discipline requires sacrifice. You can't have it all. You can't chase every opportunity, every distraction, and still expect to stay focused on your goals. Discipline means saying no to the things that don't align with your vision. It means cutting out distractions, avoiding temptation, and prioritizing your time and energy on what really matters. The more you're willing to sacrifice in the short term, the greater your rewards will be in the long run. You can't have the rewards of excellence without putting in the work and making the sacrifices that excellence demands. It's also important to remember that discipline isn't something you can flip on and off. It's not about being disciplined for a few weeks or a few months and then taking a break. Unshakable discipline is a way of life. It's a mindset that you carry with you every day. You don't take days off from your commitment to your success. Whether it's a work day, a weekend, or a holiday, you remain disciplined because you understand that your future is built on the actions you take today. The journey to discipline won't be easy. There will be days when you don't feel like getting up early, when you don't feel like doing the work, when your motivation is at an all-time low. But discipline doesn't depend on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you'd rather stay asleep. Discipline is what makes you put in the extra work when you're tired. It's the inner strength to keep pushing no matter the external circumstances. So commit to developing unshakable discipline. Build the habit of doing the right thing every day, no matter how small it seems. Make it non-negotiable. Create systems in your life that support your discipline. Remove the distractions. Surround yourself with people who hold you accountable and prioritize your goals above all else. When you develop this kind of discipline, your success will no longer be a matter of chance. It will be a matter of certainty. Your dreams will become inevitable because your actions will consistently align with your vision. And when you have unshakable discipline, there's nothing you can't accomplish. In conclusion, remember this. Raising your standards isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifelong commitment to growth, discipline, and personal excellence. If you want more, you've got to give more. More effort, more focus, and more belief in yourself. Set your standards higher than you think is possible, and then take massive action toward achieving them. When you do, you'll see a world of opportunity open up before you, and you'll realize that the best version of yourself was waiting just on the other side of your standards. Thank you.